So greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am back on my floor. And we're going over a real board game, and we're going over a game with Mr. KG. Now, you might be saying, but wait a minute. I thought you didn't like Mr. KG nowadays. That is the rumor that I had heard. He's too bleep bloopy for you. You don't like the way he's playing nowadays. And yeah, that's true. Some of his games, not really a fan of. Not really a fan of at all. This game is not one of them. Going over 2 games today, so those of you folks looking on YouTube later, that'll be at least 2 videos. And they're going to have the exact same theme. And that is influence. Influence is interesting, isn't it? Influential games are really great in my opinion because it's a lot easier to understand their direction of play, which is fantastic. Like an influential game, hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, really quickly. Let's say you have a game like this. It's really easy to understand why a move like this is really, really large now compared to a move like this, for example. You know? You got framework versus frameworks. You got ways in which you can enlarge the framework right now. And it's great. It's great. One move, clear as day, why something is large or is not large. When you get into like a lot of these fighty games, it's a little not quite sort of like that anymore, because you're like, okay, we're going to play here now. Like, why are we going to play here? Because we're going to get ourselves stronger here now. Well, what's the point of that? Well, because this gives me a lot of strength for later on. I might be able to do something over here now that I'm stronger over here. Possibly. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. History of the Dent. Which one? There's multiple. I've had this board for a long time. This board has been with me longer than some of y'all have been playing Go. Okay. Lot of history on my lovely little board. I'll be replacing him eventually. I wasn't doing it this year. I was gonna buy a board from the Kuro website. Anyway, continuing on. This game, lovingly enough, opens up with a nice 3/4 stone from Black, from Mr. KG. Now, some of you might be saying, that's not how you pronounce his name. I wish I could ban you. But yes, Mr. KG opens up with a lovely little 3/4 points. And White is going to look at that and think to himself, what are we going to do here? A lot of things you can play. You can play down in here, for example, and deny your opponent the ability to play here himself, inviting a diagonal, more territorial type of game. But only scared little wussy pants people do that. Real strong Go players, they invite everything. Who cares if you want a cross Fuseki? Do it. I don't care. I double dare you to cross Fuseki me, punk. You got the guts to do it? Another 3/4 stone from Black. Okay. At this point, you're probably beginning to ask yourself, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You said direction of play and influence and framework stuff, but I watch your basic series. That is a 3/4 stone, which typically says influence. That is a 3/4 stone, or frack. Territory, sorry, it says territory. That is a 3/4 stone, typically says territory. That is a 3/4 stone, typically says territory. So, where's this influence that you are referring to? Do you have the right game, old man? To which I would say, yes, I do, in point of fact, have the right game. Now, the fun fact about 3-4 stones, before we continue further, is yes, they can be used for territory. Nice, tight enclosures. They can also be used for high enclosures, which denote more territorial, or more influential bound, because, you know, there's still moves that you can play here to reduce. There's the latest and greatest 2 space. Again, a bit more influential, bit easier to live back in here. Large Knight, also influential, but sadly nowadays also possible to reduce in various forms. This guy is interesting. There are few professional players who play outside the norm, either playing 6-4, even something like 5-4 and 5-3s. Very, 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 very unusual at professional level, because they're all trying to ride those tight percentage points, especially in the opening. And the further you stray from the more orthodox openings, the harder and harder it is to use those openings effectively, whatever they happen to be. So the harder the game is for you, it's kind of risky, especially since it's your career, you know? Either way, Black absolutely respects the crap out of this stone and plays the 4-4 point. Like, yeah, I don't care what you did. It was a little safer to play maybe the 3-3. And then, you know, if your opponent plays here, you can still play here or here. Nice tight life, no sweat. You could also play something like this. There are Joseki here that you can easily navigate. Not really a problem. But now he's like, 4-4 point. It means you double approach me. But nowadays, the double approach is actually in style. So, okay. Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting. White says, I will double approach you. And here's where we first start making big decisions in our world. Because we could still be like, you know what? I'm gonna back off or take territory. Something like that. You could do that and settle. That is still actually quite okay. But Mr. KG makes a big decision. He says, I'm going to play to separate you. Interesting. But what does that leave behind? What's that leave behind, chat? We all know. We all know. What's it leave behind? Exactly. Ryan by the numbers. Leaves behind that 3-3. 3-3. Chat says, Katago says 6-4 is a 6% mistake. That's actually pretty big. You did that implies that's like Comey, yo. It's like, oh, you lost Comey. So that's actually a pretty big number. Especially for the opening. 6% in the opening. Eek. Eek. Okay. So, goes into 3-3. Black could block this way, but he is not going to because he is not stupid. If we block this way, we get this result. What happens from here? Do we play this? Now what? We're undercut. Are we going to drop down? What did black get here? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? So we're not going to play that way. Blocking there would be a scam. So we have the corner, and instead, black blocks here. Okay. Now this result is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. Approaching. Okay, connecting up. Okay. Look at white. Getting all that juicy territory from that 3-3 point. This looks very nice, doesn't it? Who wants to be black here? I'll always choose to be cagey. That's good. If you're always cagey, then you're always looking for who's going to fight you next. Seems better for white. Okay. Cool. Guessing he's going for D14. Interesting choice. Nice and strong reply. So strong. So strong. White says, I'll take 5th line territory. Don't mind if I do. Black Hane at the head of 2 and 3 stones. And white says, no, you don't. You have cutting points, sir. You have cutting points. Don't you know about your cutting points, Mr. KG? If that is your real name. Hane. Respond. Dropping down. You see where this is going, don't you? You guys are seeing where this is going, don't you? Drops down, or protects the cutting point. Sente response. You see nothing? Yeah, you see it. You see it. Nicely defended. Okay. Now, this could have been here initially instead. And then that wouldn't have been Sente, but I don't think it really matters a whole lot. Whether you play here or you connect it solidly. Don't think it really matters. Atari. That, sir, is an interesting decision by Mr. Cage. Given up his 4 stones to get a surround for all the influence. This is immediately what grabbed my attention about this game. Like, that's a lot of influence being given away. An influential game from Mr. KG. How interesting. What's even more interesting, because he's played this way twice now, actually. 2 times in recent games, he's actually played for influence. Can't cut yet. We're still defending ourselves. There you go. That is the gauntlet thrown down. That is Mr. KG saying, here. Yeah, when I lose complicated cut scenarios too, I also sacrifice as if it was part of the plan. Part of the plan. 20-point corner? How much is that corner? We can't really, I'm going to count, you're not supposed to count this or this technically. Or like here or here because you don't know who's getting it, but let's just go ahead and count it and just not care. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then we're hard to say. At minimum 20, there are still possibilities for this to expand, however. Because here, into Atari, into take. Ladder doesn't work. Or here, Atari connect, Atari down, extend take. So that was interesting. This is an interesting play. An interesting play. Question is, what is White going to do about the influence that he has now given away to his opponent? So keep in mind, this right now is almost a game-ending move on the board right now. Because this is 20, I'm gonna call it 25. I'm gonna call this 25 points. Because there's a lot here with that Hane, and unless you're gonna take here and then defend in Gote, you're probably getting something there in the future. So let's be as positive we can, call us 25 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That's worth more than 25 points. You know? So, what's White gonna do? And White comes up with a really cool move. Any idea? Any idea what the next move is for White? It's actually really cool. Q16. Ew. Q16. Oh my god. Okay, we'll talk about Q16. So, your idea is to Q16. Your opponent's idea is probably going to be to a Hane. I'm guessing you're going to Hane back, at which point Black is going to connect, White's going to connect, and then what? What's the goal here? If your goal was to resign, you found it. Because this is going to grow out of control, and you can't stop it. You just gave the other piece of the puzzle to make this go. So I don't recommend that. Unless you're going to Hane back this way, in which case you're going to play here, here, and then here, here, into here. So now you're giving away this. Probably not a good idea. The attachment, probably no bueno. But it is a bleep bloop move that you're seeing lately. So you're right, we had to go over it. So White is taking note of the fact the enclosures here suck for White. Right? Just absolutely suck for White. If we approach low, sucks for White. Because this is huge. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. So we have 5 by 7 or 6 by 7 easy here. So maybe approach high. But again, this is really solid. 5-5 is an interesting idea. He plays here instead. The idea with this one is brilliant. If our opponent plays here, we can do this, this, and this, keeping this guy low. Turning this influence into third line territory would be bae. Right? Just being like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That right there is 20 points when it was over 35 points in every variation. That would be amazing. So, White has now given Black a question. What do you do here? What do you do here? Because you could also play here. Hello. You could also play here. But this is still kind of weak, right? That's still a little bit on the weak side. Still a little bit on the weak side. That would be bad direction. So instead, since it seems like he can't passively make territory, aggressively making territory is questionable as well. Black goes with a nice, solid response. Ball's in your court, Black says. How are you going to respond to this? From this move, Black could change directions and develop the right-hand side. Black could still aggressively develop here as well. So now, ball is back to white. How you handle this? Well, white says I'm going to get rid of this area here. Okay. Hane. Extend. He's prioritizing the reduction on that 35-point side. Black remains pretty chill. He's picking up some extra points here, and he's a group to attack. Not playing heavy. White comes out nice and lightly. The turn is actually pretty big for both sides, or the push or the drop down. But white says, I'm not going to fall for these small plays. And approaches. Now, this is actually very interesting so far. For a number of reasons. One reason is because we immediately saw an area that could try and get really, really big here. And we saw an elegant solution to dealing with it. Understanding the dangers of the high approach, the low approach, the attachment, things like that. Won't black corner end up almost as big as the white left corner? It may very well, yes. It may very well. But be careful, though, because white also has Komi, and now had Sente to approach, and has the open corner still. But yes, very could be. Could have to push and cut P14 now. Push and cut P14? What, here? This? That gets killed. Very quickly. It goes straight into white stones. And then you resign. Cannot push and cut. No pushy pushy cutty cutty. Good question though. Good question though. It's very, very likely that, yeah, see, guy in chat might have also had the same question. It's just they are not brave enough to ask. So, okay. Black has to respond to there. Once again, he has very, very simple move in mind. Diagonal. He wants nice, strong response, because there are things on this board he still wants to do. So white says no. There's nothing on this board you want to do. Frack. So yeah, white says, I don't know what you want Sente for. I don't know what your next big move is going to be. But it's not going to be to attack me. This move here is actually very interesting. Because he's identifying these as a weak group still. He's trying to make black over-concentrated to get shape. Black responds aggressively. White also responds with aggression to aggression, going after the cutting point. Connect. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Atari first. My bad. Then connect. Now let's figure out what to do. White's playing a little heavy at this point, but he has given, you know, black some things to worry about. Protect. Protect. And it seems like none of these hits are landing. Like, I'm not sure what White's plan was with that attachment. He obviously wanted to attach to get shape. But so far, it's not really doing it, is it? Black takes big move. White has to cut. Otherwise, everything about this sequence was just silly. And we have a connection. And thus a fight breaks out. And thus a fight breaks out. So, first and foremost, identify where the weak stones are. Is this group weaker than this group? Yes, it is. Therefore, we defend it. Easy peasy. With that, a sector line has been drawn. White being behind it says that's no good. So we jump out. You could say, I'm going to play here instead. Because I know if I get surrounded, I can still live locally. You could say that. Now, you could not then say I'm a Don player, but you could say that. Because the trouble is now, your group here is still in trouble. This side can now be built upon way easily. After something like this one, for example, goes back and settles. And there's just no reason to leave that behind, right? We don't want to just settle if we can come out. And so we do. Black doesn't want to get greedy. It's tempting to play here right now. It's very, very tempting. But then, how long is this group going to be under attack? Right? How long is this group going to be under attack if you do this? For one move? Two moves? Three moves? More? Don't want that to happen, right? So instead of being greedy and playing here, Black defends his weak group again. Because this is weaker than that. I like White's decision here. I absolutely love White's decision here. He's looking at that and he's like, I don't know what this gets me. Does this get me anything? If I defend these stones, what is the point? Right? What is the point? Like, maybe we come out, but black is not disconnected, right? We disconnect there, or we come out. So what was the point of this exchange? Can't really find one, right? So looking at that, White has a really good skill here that he's demonstrating. And that is recognizing that this fight is probably a lost cause. There is no value to continuing to play this. And that is, so many amateurs especially do not have that skill. They will never admit that they have lost somewhere. Whether it's the game in general, a fight, an exchange, and they'll just keep adding to what's already gone, what's already lost, until there's no hope for the entire game. Instead, White comes out and says, I can rescue it this way, maybe. And Black says, no, you can't. And White says, maybe. And Black says, no, you can't. And White says, okay. I'm going to make sure it doesn't grow. So got rid of this. He saw that was not a fight that he could take. Got to come out. So our 35 plus points here, greatly growing. If this comes out, keep in mind, then we didn't count these two, these two, these two, these two, and this one dead. So it could be 2, 4, 6, 8, an extra 12 points here on the left. Black responds. Otherwise, you're looking at this, this, this. Bunch of territory suddenly developing for White there, right? This corner, not really doing what we wanted to anymore. So he sees that move. And he responds, taking away the territory that White was going to get there, and the reduction. Extends with Sente. And now, Creakers, the upper left is, now the upper left is good. Now the upper left is good. White asks us what to do here. He says, I can be calm too. And backs off. Now we could back off here, but it's Gote. There's no obviously big points for White right now. Or for, for White right now. So if we back off here, White's going to use Sente to attack or to grow. That's very, very, very important to realize. We're in the mid-game. The obvious large opening points are gone. So away with that. Was L17 played? L17? What was L17? Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. Yeah. L17 wasn't played. That was the variation I showed earlier with the connection up. Yeah. L17 is not played. Is not played. Sorry. So yeah, we realized that getting the base gives my opponent the ability to start attacking, building, reducing, all that stuff. So black says no, and decides to stay in the driver's seat. He's going to be like, nope, 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 nope. I'm going to attack you before you start attacking me. White tries to change conversation. It's like, no, I'm attacking you. Not the other way around. This gets rid of shape point potential for a white. Connection. Saves his stone. Because that's kind of big. That's getting very, very, very big right now. Whereas there's no like single move white can play over here to like seriously attack and kill that stone, right? Comes up. Chooses to settle on it. And again, we're going to go ahead and settle. Attacks the one stone. But black's like, hey, buddy. You forget something? You forget something? Maybe that cutting point? Huh? Haven't defended it? Not Sente. Ladder goes to black. Starting to get an interesting bit of attacks going here against the two stones. Settles. Attachment for just Aji, really. Either white Hane's over and black's gets the outside. Outside here is a little bit risky since this group is still not 100% alive yet. Like, we've got all sorts of ways we can start, you know, poking these shapes out. So white says, nope, I'm on top. I'm definitely on top. Black connects. Like so. Defends. And here is where another mini fight's going to break out. Because black isn't going to just play here, and then play here, and then just fall back. Right? We're not going to just do something like this. Because this is getting out of control. Black pushes. And white says, no, you don't. And black says, oh, yes, I do. And connect. And Atari down. Bye-bye corner. Didn't like you anyway. And Atari the one stone. Interesting. We have successfully cut off the middle group from going to the top of the board. And my music's done. Alright. So, black takes Sente. Starts poking the way that he can get territory. Poke. One eye's been found. While we're connecting, getting an extra 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. White knows he's not alive locally, like if he plays here. There's like the Atari. This isn't deny yet. Like where can he make 2 eyes from? He's got the push here. But there's still the push there then into a kill on these stones, so that doesn't work. It's like, alright, I got one eye. Probably. Must come out. Poke, poke, poke. Making shape. They both know what's at stake here. With white not being alive as is. Yeah, the trap has been set. It's like, alright, you're in the middle, man. That's where I get to play. That's where all my stones are, buddy. You think you can live? You think you can live? Gotta try and do whatever he can to get another eye. Atari. Cut. And Atari. You can kind of see we're making shape here. Connect. Good, 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 good. Because otherwise, you're gonna get pushed through. Be bad. Preventing connection to the top. Oh, there it goes. Push and block. Looking for our shape. And it looks at this point that he's going to be alive, right? It's hard to imagine where we're going to poke to get rid of all of the eye shape that he has now. Because gotta go and play in here, which is Gote, because of that one. Gotta play over here to block this turn. It's like, okay, white's probably alive. Time to continue. Left-hand side of the board, then. Make sure it's not cut off. And then asking for the 2 stones. Honey. Defend. Take out the eye. Looking for shape. Connecting up and surrounding. Trying to go for a life and a little bit of a kill on these stones. No dragon on the menu, indeed. Poking for death. Looking to kill. It would appear neither side is potentially alive locally right now. That's unfortunate. Asks to come on out. Is blocked. Push, push, push. This is Time Suji. They're in BAM at this point, and he needs extra stuff, I believe. Well, actually, is it Time Suji? No, he's just dead there, isn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, never mind. No, actually 7 to 5, isn't it? Yeah, okay, never mind. White's just dead there. So this is not Time Suji then? Question mark? Oh yeah, he's looking for something. He's looking for something, isn't he? Take. Is this literally the first capture? Oh my god, it is the first capture. Connect. cutting for more, because why not? Yeah, black has more liberties on the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. Atari. 2 stones fall off of white, unfortunately. 1 does for black, but that's hardly the same thing. White's getting aggressive now. Cutting all the things. He has to. He knows he's behind at this point. The death on the right, or left, sorry, is very unfortunate. Connects that into Atari. Note the Atari this way and not this way. It's a little thing, but it's actually kind of important because if we Atari here, then we can Atari here. And connect the knife later on. That'd be very, 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 very bad. Or immediately, I guess. Either way, not good. So this Atari would be a bad Atari. Instead, white Atari is directly here immediately. Otherwise, we're going to feel a lot of pain. Unfortunately, gives that away. For free. Resuming the question of are you alive here? White says yes. Black defends because of the cutting points. And then bam, we got our eye. 2 eyes nice and solid. Starting to cut through. But also threatens here, here, into a false eye. So he has to play there, which means more. Ouch. More ouchy times. This I don't get. I don't know why he's playing these two. It's weird to force a capture there, in my opinion. But force capture he did. Oh, wait, that's why. Wait, what? Oh. That's actually not weird. That's actually really good. Do you see it? Who sees it? Who sees it? Who can tell what's going on here? This is a cute Go problem. Oh my god, this is a cute Go problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you block this right now, there's an Atari here to not playing twice. Into here. Into here. Into... Sorry, getting messy. There we are. Into connecting or co. Because we can't just connect. Since the Atari here then comes up. Into killing the whole thing. So that is what is sort of up there. Though it's complicated AF because after the Atari here, there's also technically a thing here. But then you're going to lose that stone and then the corner. So it's all sorts of complicated. It's all sorts of complicated because that's there, and so this group could live and kill this still, but then that dies and the corner is ugh. It's a thing. It's a thing. Instead, Black's just like, I'm just gonna nope out of here, dog. Pretty good. The Atari here into the take here would probably be worth this because you just take then and connect on up. So you have Blackstone, take, cut. Ooh, cute. Very cute. Very cute. Black says, peace treaty. You connect and I'll kill your 2 stones. White says no. Which is a dangerous thing to say. Connects up. Connects under. Drops down in Sente. What should be Sente? But White knows he's behind still. So he goes for more. And Black says, your stones are dead. See? Atari? Can't do anything there. So that's toast. Black says that's fine, or White says that's fine. I'm going to come in again. Black blocks. Nice big corner. Honey. Threaten disconnect. Ah! Need more stones. And connect. And connect. Hane's big in corner. How did I do that? How on earth did I do that? How on earth did I do that? Oh. That was played there. My bad. My bad, the Ritho double Atari then. My bad. My bad. My bad. That makes this next move a lot more, makes a lot more sense. Yeah. I made a misclick. Sorry, the SD. SD is now very unhappy with me. Sorry. So there's that. Drop down to kill. Reduce. Reduce. Atari. Hane. And we're just going through endgame. Just going through your standard run-of-the-mill endgame. Very standard indeed. This push is pretty huge. But then again, so is this Hane. Taking some more points. Comes into the middle. Is denied. And with that, white resigns. Because he's behind. He's about 15-ish down, I'd say. If I remember correctly. So he resigns the game. Remember, these stones here are dead. So yeah. Gave away influence early on. Congratulations to Black being, you know, brave enough to take it. Had to come up with an interesting plan to reduce it. White had to realize the dangers of taking what was offered and say, I'm not going to do any of that. Played nice and strong inside with the diagonal. Able to get some territory. White had to realize these two stones. Very dangerous to run them out. That's like a game-endingly bad decision. So he sacrificed to get out instead. A lot of you don't see it, you insta-lose kind of moves in this game. Very, very finely walked kind of direction of play battles, where a person who does not see where the territory is coming from just gives way too much away. Way too much away. And our next game is going to continue that ever so lovely idea